Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Zillow Talk. It's been a few weeks since I've done one of these, so I figured it was time to do another one. Plus I've been looking around on Zillow lately, mainly because it's part of my job. So I was like, well, let's do something a little interesting today. Today's is actually gonna be pretty fun because we are diving into the world of the ultra rich and looking at some of the priciest properties on the market, not only in Florida, but in New York and California, as well as Texas. I feel like those are some of the biggest markets here in the United States. And this will be fun because it's like, who doesn't enjoy looking at some of the most expensive homes that are out there and commenting on whether or not you would actually buy it if you had the money to do so, even though the front door on some of these houses alone would probably break my bank account. So let's just jump right in. I'm starting in Florida. This is actually in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This was one of the most expensive homes that is on the market there currently. So this one is on the market for $88 million. So you know, pocket change. 6 bedrooms, 11 baths, and 20,000 square feet. I was just looking, it's been on the market for 341 days. You know, when it comes to this price range, it takes a long time for these homes to sell because it's like the 1% of the 1% that can afford these. But let's just take a look at it. I mean, it looks, I love that you're kind of on like your own little peninsula out here. But look at all this property. It looks like there's 2 houses. I would assume that this is like a guest house over here. It's obviously amazing to have your own little tennis court. I was looking into some of the details of this house and trying to figure out who owns it. But first, look at that pool. It's like an infinity edged pool. That's beautiful. Look at the sunset right there. But it looks like an investment manager owns it, of course. You know, some of these top finance guys that like own hedge funds and stuff like that. Those are the kind of people, or maybe these big tech billionaires, but those are the kind of people that are gonna be able to buy something like this. But I was reading a story about it, and apparently he had eyed this piece of property in this home for a few years while it was on the market before he purchased it. He never actually stepped up because he didn't originally like the look of it. But then over time, you know, he realized, and this is really with any home, whether it's $500,000 or apparently 88 million, the house can change. You can change things when it comes to the house, but what can't change is the piece of property itself. And he realized that this is a special piece of property, so he ended up buying it. And of course, now he's selling it for whatever reason. Yeah, so this must be the front. This is like where you drive up the driveway. It looks like there's 1, 2, there's another one right here, 3, 4, 5, 6 garages. You can definitely have a car collection here. So this must be the entryway. You know, it's always nice when you see some of these mansions that have these huge stairways. It's like such a pretty way to walk into a house. This one seems very sterile though. There's like nothing in here, it's all white. And something like this, especially if I had this home on the market myself, it'd be pretty amazing. First off, I would at least add some furniture in here just to, you know, give it some sort of life. And then here's a living room. So you clearly have extremely tall ceilings. I don't know, maybe what, 15 feet? I might be wrong here, I'm just taking a guess. But nice large couch. I love the double-heighted windows here, looking out at palm trees. That's what's so great about Florida, and that's one thing I miss about being in Florida is the palm trees. It's just something about them. This is really pretty though. Look at the huge wine case. I mean, for $88 million, it's definitely pristine. You would think you would have a bigger kitchen than this when you have like a home that costs this much money. But I guarantee you, whoever owns this or whoever ends up buying this, they're probably not doing the cooking themselves, so they don't really care how big the kitchen actually is. Nice little bathroom. It looks like this is definitely a different kitchen, but as you notice, like this home is all white. Most of it is white, at least that's what I've seen so far. So I love the contrast with bringing in some of these wood tones. It makes the kitchen look so much nicer and just makes it pop a little bit more and makes it feel a little bit homier, because when you have so much white throughout a home, it can just feel like a hospital room. That's how I always feel like that, at least. Yeah, this is really pretty though. I love the little breakfast counter, huge dining room, big round table. It makes sense because the way the ceiling is, this is a circle up here, so you wouldn't really want to put a long square or rectangle table there. You obviously have windows, like floor to ceiling windows throughout. So this place is going to be pretty bright, which is one of the reasons it's white, especially down in Florida because it gets so hot down there. That's one thing I don't miss about Florida. Again, I've lived there before. If you haven't seen any of my past videos, I grew up in Florida, but now I live in New York, and it would get so hot and so humid. In Fort Lauderdale, it can get really hot there as well. So it probably is a good thing that most of everything in here is white. I bet their AC bill for how big of a place this is is through the roof. This must be the primary bedroom. I'm assuming these are probably electric curtains that you can close to give yourself some privacy. You're gonna need it since basically the whole house is glass, it seems like. But it's nice having this little seating area. It would be so nice to wake up and have the view of the water right here, right when you wake up. And you know that everybody that rides their boats by are like, they're looking at your house. Like your house is the house to pass by on a boat and just be like, wow, that place is beautiful. This looks like it could be like a movie room because there's no windows in there. You can close this door off. Maybe I'm wrong though. Now see, this room is really pretty because, you know, the rest of the house is white. So it's nice seeing this navy blue, dark blue tones in here. It really like warms up the space and the wood. This is the room I'd probably hang out in a lot. It looks, I can't tell, is it a bedroom? Maybe this is actually the primary. And it looks like you have this little spiral staircase that maybe goes up to like another floor, like a roof deck or something. But yeah, I like it. I don't hate it. It's kind of pretty. You have another little seating area over there. It's just nice seeing this compared to all the white that we've been used to seeing. Nice little hot tub with a view. Now this, yeah, this is a primary bathroom. Hands down, one of my favorite things about this house so far, I know I've mentioned it, but it's definitely the natural wood tones throughout. It's so pretty. I love that about, even when I see apartments here in New York, it's one of my favorite features of a home is when they add things like this to the house. And then you have the freestanding soaking tub, which is obviously really beautiful. And then this must be the shower. I was gonna say, does the shower come from the wood up top? But it looks like this is the shower head here, which is nice. You have two here, but I like the nice open bathroom floor plan. It's great. I can't tell if it's a steam shower or not. I don't think so because I don't think there's a door that closes here. But that'd be nice to have. I would want that if I was spending $88 million, to be honest. This must be like the upstairs office. This is where shit gets done, people. Imagine like working here. I would love to have this as my desk and like looking out at this water. And you have like pillars around here as well. You're like in a compound. I mean, I guess it's not really a compound because in a compound, you're kind of guarded from everything, but you're in a palace. How about we say that? This is pretty. What an office space. Outdoor roof deck, get some nice sun, you know, just get tan like everybody in Florida does. This is a nice little gym too. It looks like they like doing Pilates, of course. You have the treadmill, Peloton. This is a nice little workout room. And of course, since this is the gym, you gotta have two fans in here because it's gonna get nice and hot and sweaty. Oh, there is a lot of pictures to go through of this property. This is so pretty at night though. I can't tell if I like the exterior, at least it kind of reminds me of, it gives like White House vibes in the back a little bit, but it is pretty. It's definitely a huge house. It's like a mansion. Now this is cool. I would use this all the time, you know, have like private tennis lessons. You even have a basketball hoop back here. You kind of feel like you're at your own little private resort on an island. I mean, you could entertain out the ass at this house. I think this is actually the guest house that we were looking at, like from up above. It must be nice to have, you know, just $88 million to put into a house. And if you saw my previous video, you know you're not supposed to spend all of your money on a house. So clearly whoever bought this has much, much, much more money left over after they spend $88 million. You know, originally I saw the other room that was like, oh, that could be a good movie room. I'm guessing that probably was not the movie room because this is a movie room. This is like top of the line. You could imagine playing like video games in here or playing like Madden or watching like Sunday football if people like football that watch this. This would be a great room. I wouldn't leave this on Sundays unless I'm showing houses, of course. You have like your own kids like playground. This is awesome. So yeah, that is a cool house. Definitely understand why it costs $88 million. I mean, look at that piece of property on this little island here in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, that was one of the most expensive ones in Florida. So now let's go to New York. So this is asking $195 million. You know, I currently live in New York. This apartment is at Central Park Tower, which I've been there. I've seen a good handful of apartments there. I think the highest floor, what floor is this? This is the penthouse. I don't know what floor specifically the penthouse is on, but I've been on a few of the really nice apartments here. One of them was like $65 million. And they are stunning apartments. They're beautiful, like really beautiful views overlooking Central Park, overlooking all of Midtown. You can see all the way downtown. And what's crazy is when you're standing in these apartments, there's helicopters literally going by you at the same level that you are at inside of your apartment, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, this one's on the market for $195 million, 7 bedrooms, 11 baths, 17,545 square feet. This is actually the most expensive piece of property on the market, I think, in the United States. There might be some more like bare property out in like Utah for a lot more, where you can buy acres and acres of land, but in regards to a house or an apartment, this is the most expensive one. But yeah, so it says that this has 27-foot ceilings throughout, 2,000 square feet of private ballroom. I mean, some of the stuff in here, it's like, who would buy this and use this, honestly? But look at this outdoor space. I think this is the highest terrace in the Western Hemisphere. Like, you can't have a private terrace any higher than this, probably in the world, if we're being honest. But that is something else. It'd probably be a little sketchy up there, though. I mean, that is a bathroom of all bathrooms right there. Look at that. It's gotta be, what, marble or granite? Freestanding soaking tub. I mean, that is just absolutely stunning. I've never seen a ceiling height so high in a bathroom either. And then you have a living room. It's one of those, I feel like one of the apartments though that, you know, someone might buy with oil money or something, and then they never actually use it. That's what's crazy about a lot of these really expensive homes in Manhattan that are $50 million or more. You'll find that they sit empty after they're purchased. Like, they're not ever actually used. A lot of people will use these kind of apartments that have billions of dollars really to park their money over time and hope it just appreciates, you know, and then they get tax benefits and everything else like that, but they never actually use the apartment, which is just absolutely mind-blowing to think about, because I wouldn't leave this place if I lived here. That is for sure. I mean, just look at this dining table and the parties that you could have. This is, I mean, look at those views. You are much higher than the Empire State Building. Then you have the World Trade Center all the way down there. I mean, you were living in the sky. It's so beautiful though. Look how high, 27-foot high ceilings throughout here. So far, would you want to live here or in Florida, the one we just saw? I mean, this one is obviously double the price of the one we just looked at in Florida, which is kind of crazy. The only downside to this is the kitchen, which I'll get to in a second, but look at this staircase. You've probably seen this apartment somewhere in the media because there's been a lot of media attention on it, but this staircase is unreal with the views looking. This is the Upper West Side over here. This is like Midtown West, but this is beautiful. This is facing west, these windows where my mouse is. So you see, you're getting really beautiful sunset views. I mean, you're getting, in this kind of apartment, sunrise views, midday views, sunset views. You're getting it all here. I mean, I would hope so, paying this much money for an apartment. Nice, beautiful office. I want to see the kitchen, which they may not even show it. So yeah, this is the apartment up here though. You're at the very top of Central Park Tower. This is your large private ballroom. So you can throw huge events here, which people who own this, you know, they may have like fundraising events. This is like top donors that will come together and have a big party, you know, for maybe even for politicians, or the kind of events that you throw here is definitely for the 1%. That is for sure. I'm gonna actually, these are just the amenities of the building, which are great. Again, when it comes to a new development in Manhattan, you're buying into a full package. So you're getting all the condo amenities like this. You see the lap pool, gym, everything else. That's a pretty cool gym. But I wanted to look, do they have the floor plan on here? Because I've seen what the floor plan looks like. Here we go. And what blows my mind about this apartment is how big the kitchen is. You have an apartment that's over 17,000 square feet, but then the kitchen, if you look, is right here. This is all you get. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier though at the home in Florida, is that if you spend this much money on a home, if you have this much money, there's a good chance you're probably never stepping foot in the kitchen anyways. This is gonna be for the chef that you hire. This is gonna be for, like, you know, people that work for you and that they are going to serve you. And then it's right next to the dining room, so you can have the big, large dining room, and then they can just cater it and bring it out. But again, you're probably never stepping foot in that door yourself. And then up here, I was just trying to see, so yeah, the private ballroom, what I mentioned here, and then you have the catering and kitchen here. So again, it's good that you have this on this floor as well, so that the chef and all the servers and everyone can be in here, then easily bring it out to the private ballroom. But yeah, $195 million. So that's the most expensive one in New York. So now let's go to Los Angeles. So Los Angeles, this one is also $195 million. So this will actually be cool to see the one that's in New York for 195 and this one for 195 to compare them, since they're priced the exact same. I'm surprised this doesn't have the square footage, but it's 7 bedrooms, 20 baths. This is in Los Angeles. I'm not like too familiar with Los Angeles, so I don't know exactly what part, but it looks like it is overlooking the Bel Air Country Club. This has been on the market for 163 days. I was actually, before I got on here and made this video, when I was looking up some of these properties, I was trying to find a little bit of history about some of these. The owner of this place actually bought the land in the early 1900s before she built this house, and she bought the land for $100,000. And now there's a house sitting on that land asking $195 million, which is just mind-blowing that, you know, think about if this house stayed in that family, how much money like this family would have, which I'm sure whenever she sold it back in the day, you know, she probably still made a hefty profit from it. But it's just crazy how much housing can appreciate, specifically when it comes to location. That's like one of the biggest keys. But yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, honestly, like I don't know anything about this area, but personally, if I had $195 million, here we go again, just, you know, hypothetically speaking, maybe one day, I'm just kidding. I don't know what I would have to do to get that amount of money, but I would love a big piece of land like this with a big house on it like this. This is absolutely stunning. Nice large driveway. You can park your cars here because you know if you're spending that much money, you have quite a few cars that are probably really pretty. Look how pretty this is. I think this is like a guest house. I haven't seen like an overview. Here we go. So this must be your driveway here where you drive up. I don't know if this is private to the home. It's probably sitting on a golf course, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're paying $195 million if you have your own little private golf course as well. But then you have like a little pool slash guest house over here. This looks like a nice large garden area, which is really cool. And then tennis courts. There's probably a basketball hoop on that. And these actually might be guest houses over here as well. But let's see. Nice, beautiful entrance. There you go. Nice little naked man statue at the front. It just absolutely beautiful. So this must be right when you walk in. I feel like all these really nice houses, right when you walk in, they have these elegant staircases that like kind of spiral up in a way or curve up. But it looks like a pretty home. You know, it's definitely, I wouldn't say dated. It's more of like a traditional style. I don't really know if you'd want to come in and gut it anyways. You don't want to make it, like, you want to keep some of the historic charm of this place because, again, it was built in the 1930s. So this is a pre-war house. We're used to talking about pre-war buildings here in New York, but this is an actual pre-war house. So you want to keep that character and charm. And I think it's pretty. You might want to change a few things and maybe even look pretty with white columns, white crown moldings in here. Nice little bar. I mean, this is really pretty. I really want to go to California soon. I can't believe I haven't been yet. Barry and I, my girlfriend, we really want to do a trip pretty soon. This is a nice little entertaining spot. You have the pool out here. You can play pool. You can play with the pool table. It looks like a little poker table. You definitely entertain if you own homes like this. It'd be so peaceful to have this in your backyard. But talk about the upkeep. Again, if you have this much money though, you're paying for someone to handle all of that for you. I wish there were more photos. I actually pulled up one more place in California just to give us one more option to look at. Let's see, this one is also in Los Angeles for $137 million, called The Manor. This one's been on the market for 467 days, 56,000 square feet. That's pretty mind-blowing. Let's take a look at it. Now this is beautiful. I think I like this exterior more. It kind of reminds me of would be like a chateau in France. Is that right? This is so pretty. It reminds me of like the Bellagio. Oh, I'm just pulling that name out my ass. But yeah, this is really pretty. I love this pool. That must be a little hot tub. Yet the landscaping in some of these houses are just, it's fit for like a museum. This looks like a museum. Like I almost wouldn't even want to live here because I'd be worried I'd mess something up. Nice large tennis court. If you haven't noticed, rich people like their tennis courts. I don't know if this is limestone on the outside. I'm probably getting that wrong, but I mean, such a beautiful job with the landscaping, the exterior. It definitely has curb appeal, but I would hope so for $135 million. Here we go again with the staircase. They love their staircases, and look at that chandelier. That's beautiful. I'm not, again, it's a little too white, I think. This is a pretty room. I like the gray, but it's very white. I do love the character on the ceiling with the details and the texture. This color is a little bit better because it's not as sterile. I like the black and the grayish. This is pretty nice too. You can definitely host large dining events. Look at this bowling alley. This is awesome. This is the first one we've seen in these houses. I just want to tour these places. I just want to walk into them. I don't know if I'll ever get to walk into something like this in my lifetime, but maybe I will. I'm gonna speak it into existence, and you guys should do the same if you're wanting to buy something like this one day. But that is an absolutely beautiful piece of land with a gorgeous house. That is stunning. All right, the last state that we are gonna look at is Texas. So let's look at this one. So I tried to find the most expensive ones on the market in Texas. There were some that are a little bit more expensive than these, but they were literally just land, and I figured that'd probably be pretty boring for us to look at. So this is close to being the most expensive. This is in Houston, Texas, asking $49.9 million, 8-bedroom, 12 baths, 22,000 square feet. Let's see, it's been on the market for 316 days. So this is called The Lodge at Hunter's Creek. Let's take a look at it. It definitely has like castle vibes. So that must be downtown Houston, and nice little golf course all around. But it looks pretty from up above. You definitely have a ton of privacy with all these trees, that's for sure. Yeah, this is actually really pretty. It doesn't feel like a Texas home, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know a whole lot about Texas. I've only been a few times, but it looks really pretty. Again, back to the landscaping. The landscaping in some of these places are beautiful. You can definitely tell it's been kept up really nice. Yeah, it definitely feels like a castle, but like mixed with like a traditional, but also more modern feel. It's like they've mixed in a few different kind of styles into this. I love this feature about homes when you have like the little upper balcony over one room, but you have the double-heighted ceiling. It kind of reminds me of do you guys remember the scene from The Great Gatsby where he has like his closet where he walks up and he is up on the little balcony area, and Daisy, I think that's her name, Daisy, she's like laying down on like a little couch thing, and he's just like throwing all of his button shirts to her down there. That's what this reminds me of. Such a great movie. I love that movie. Maybe Gatsby owns this house too. But yeah, it looks like a castle in here. It's very like it has like some medieval type style to it. I mean, these fireplace mantles are unreal. Really nice kitchen. Are these 2 ovens, it looks like? I mean, again, you're probably not cooking in here. Whoever owns this, they probably have someone cooking for them. But I love the gardens outside. I love this little round rotunda type style, I guess you could say. Floor to ceiling windows, beautiful wine cellar. Imagine just having friends over. My girlfriend would absolutely die over this. But having friends over, sitting around here, trying your probably $100,000 bottle of wine as if it's $10 to you probably. I don't know which one is my favorite out of all of these. This is cool, having a nice fire pit. I mean, you probably wouldn't use it a ton. How cold does it get in Houston? In the winter, maybe it gets pretty chilly. I don't know, you guys may know better than me if you live in Texas. But yeah, this is really pretty. What a nice piece of land. I mean, out of all of the ones we looked at, I don't know which house is my favorite. I really like the one in Florida a lot, and then I would probably say, you know, I'm so used to New York that the one in New York doesn't like blow my mind, I guess you could say, because I've also been in the building. But this one, or honestly, if I had more pictures of this one in California, I feel like this would be absolutely stunning. But I think I have to go with the one in Florida. I think this one might be my favorite. It's just like, you have everything there. You have the water, you can have a boat, you have tennis courts, palm trees. It's for $88 million, 20,000 square feet. I would just, you know, add a little bit of color and maybe tone down the white a little bit, but it just feels so bright and airy, and it's definitely, I think, a little bit more my style than the others, and then I loved the wood tones throughout. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun. I love looking at these kind of homes. I would love to sell one of these one day. And sorry, I have sirens going on back here. I'm in New York, what do you expect? But not only would I love to sell one of these one day, but to buy one of them. That would be something else. But in order to do that, I need you guys to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so that this video and this channel will be pushed out to as many people as possible, because it's gonna take a lot of subscribers in order to make the kind of money to afford something like this. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode.